Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tom's Gadget Garage. Today I am here with the MokWheel Slate to see just how much range we can get out of this bike. Now, MokWheel does claim that you can get upwards of 60 miles of range in the most ideal of conditions, which usually means riding around in pedal assist level 1 on flat ground with minimum stop and go. So for today's ride, we're going to be cruising around in pedal assist 3, which is what I typically use for my e-bike range tests. Now, we will be tracking our ride today with a Garmin GPS, which will give us the most consistent way of tracking this ride. And then, of course, at the end of it, we'll bring all the data together and see how we did. Now, we are going to have some notable benchmarks today so that we can compare this to some other folding e-bikes. On the Electric XP 3.0, I was able to get 39 miles of range. On the Engwe L20 2.0, I was able to get 49 miles of range. On the Engwe Engine Pro 2.0, I was able to get 44 miles of range. So the question is, what will this Slate get today and how will it compare to some of its competitors? Today's video is going to be the second video I made on the MokWheel Slate. The first one was a feature overview as well as first impressions ride. And if you haven't caught that, I highly recommend checking it out because that's where we go over some of the features of the bike and then take it out on its first ride to get an idea of what some of those riding characteristics are. But in terms of battery, this bike comes equipped with a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery, which is good for 720 watt hours of capacity, which for folding e-bikes is right around what we typically see. You know, usually anywhere between 13 to 16 amp hour batteries. For those of you keeping track today, we just crossed the 3 mile mark and we still have 9 out of 9 battery bars remaining. The trail that we're going to be riding today is the Powerline Trail, which is what I typically take all of my e-bikes and scooters on for range test purposes. That way, everything is as consistent as possible. So one of the things that I love about this MokWheel Slate is the fact that it's got a torque sensor. So torque sensors are going to give you, generally speaking, a more natural ride feel, and they're typically more efficient than their cadence sensor counterparts. With torque sensors, the more pressure that you apply to the pedals, the more power output you're going to get from the motor. With cadence sensors, as long as those pedals are moving, you're going to get power output regardless of whether you're really putting any effort into it. You could be ghost pedaling and the bike will deliver power. Another nice thing about this MokWheel Slate is the fact that we've got these trigger shifters here. You know, it's a 7-speed gear set, but it's better than, some of the shifters that we typically see in more budget-oriented folding e-bikes. Now, this trail that we're going to be riding around on today is about 70% paved, 30% hard-packed dirt. So that'll give us ample opportunity to test out this bike both on and off the beaten path. This bike does have front fork suspension, gives you some preload adjustment, as well as travel adjustment and a lockout. So you can basically set it to your preference. And so far, it's done a really good job of absorbing a lot of the lumps and bumps in the road. And for those of you keeping track at home, we just crossed the 5 mile mark and we still have 9 out of 9 battery bars remaining. And here's more of that hard packed dirt. We go over some of this gravel and got a little more choppy stuff over here. And overall, it's a very comfortable ride. That front suspension does a good job at dampening the blows from some of the bumps in the road here. Here we've got a little more riding off the beaten path. We're cruising around at about 15, 16 miles an hour and things are very stable. Now this bike does have street tread. A lot of times these folding e-bikes will come with, kind of knobby tread that is suitable for both riding on and off the beaten path. This is more of a commuter style bike. And so the riding position, as I mentioned in my previous video, is more upright. It's more relaxing kind of ride. So just up ahead is a pedestrian bridge, which will be a little bit of a hill climb test for us. So we'll see how this MokWheel Slate does going up this hill. All right, here we go. Pedal assist 3. Okay, putting in some work. Looks like 16, 15 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4 gives us more power output. Pedal assist 5 gives us a little more. All right, we made it to the top. In pedal assist 3 on this bike, a very comfortable riding speed is between 17 and 19 miles an hour. You know, at least for me and my cadence, that's where things settle in really well. And this bike actually has a pretty interesting feature in that it allows you to unlock the throttle speed. So most Class 2, pretty much all Class 2, Class 3 e-bikes have the throttle speed locked down to 20 miles an hour. You want a little more adrenaline, you can unlock that throttle speed and you can get that throttle to take you up to 25 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour faster than your typical bike. So that's awesome. All right, so we officially crossed the 10-mile mark and it looks like we still have 9 out of 9 battery bars remaining. So we shall see how accurate this thing is. In terms of the comfort of this bike, this hand grip, I'll tell you right now, these locking, kind of leather wrapped, gel infused hand grips so far are very comfortable. My hands aren't fatigued at all. Very quite pleasant to use. The seat, on the other hand, I'm starting to feel like I probably should have swapped in my Cloud 9 seat. That's what I've been using on a lot of my e-bikes. I've actually got a couple seats from them, and anyways, they do a good job at keeping me comfortable on these extended rides. All right, folks, taking a little bit of a water break. We are at the 15-mile mark on this MokWheel Slate, and somehow we still have got 9 out of 9 battery bars remaining. So we'll keep on going down the path, and when it looks like we're about 60%, we'll get turned around. But anyways, if you're curious what I pack on these kind of rides, I do have my Kemimoto saddlebag there. It just velcros into place on the rear rack. And in terms of the things that I pack, of course, I got a water bottle as well as another one in my backpack. I've got a bike tire repair kit, so in the event we get a flat or something, I have the tools necessary to address that. I do have a larger tire pump here, so if I do have to, you know, address a puncture, I can re-inflate it. Normally take my smaller one, but I forgot to charge it up, so thankfully the bigger one has charge. I've got my wallet, I've got my Leatherman, I've got a hex key set in here, and then of course I've got an adjustable crescent wrench in my backpack, which would help, you know, take off these axle nuts off the rear wheel or front wheel in the event that I need to change those out. But anyways, that's our MokWheel Slate, 15 miles in. I'm gonna get a little water and we'll continue on our way. All right, so we're back to the range test right now. So far, so good with this bike. There's no squeaks or creaks or anything coming out of it, which is always nice because those are things I absolutely can't stand. We are still cruising around in pedal assist level 3, and I'm moving around about 18, 19 miles an hour at this point. Very comfortable ride, I definitely have to say that. All right, folks, so this is exactly the reason why you bring tools with you on your ride. Somehow, some way, my seat got loose. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but anyways, I've got my Allen key set here. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten things up and we'll be back on our way. So it looks like that hex bolt came loose. That kind of secures the seat to the seat post. Probably from some of the vibration of riding this around for however miles it's been over the last several weeks. But anyways, glad I had my tools with me. Otherwise, it would have been real difficult to ride back with a wobbly seat like that. I'll definitely be putting some blue thread locker on there when I get home so that I don't have to worry about anything coming loose moving forward. All right, so we just crossed the 20-mile mark and we've been riding around for 1 hour and 50 minutes so far. It's 1 hour, 50 minutes. And let's see, looking at the screen, yeah, I don't get it. You know, it's still showing, I think we lost a battery bar. That's what it's showing. So 8 out of 9 battery bars remaining. And a steep little hill. You can definitely hear that motor putting in some work, because that is a steep little hill we just went up there, which of course we will be doing a true endurance hill climb test here in the near future, so stay tuned for that. On the way back here, we'll ride on this side. Little super hard packed dirt. Give us another opportunity to test out this front fork. And this is some choppy stuff, but that front fork is definitely putting in some work to keep this ride comfortable. So if you're in the market for a folding e-bike, something like the Slate is definitely one to consider, because you got a lot of standard features. You got this removable screen, you've got a plain English menu so you can actually know what you're going in and adjusting without having to pull out the manual. Another thing is you've got the ability to unlock throttle speed, which I haven't tested a bike yet that allows me to do that. I'm sure they're out there, but none of the ones that I have tested give you any of that functionality. It's got turn signals, which I don't know why those are so rare on e-bikes, but I'm of the belief that all e-bikes should have turn signals, because I'll tell you what, you know, doing all these hand signals and stuff, like, a lot of drivers don't know what's going on, let alone know how to drive. Anyways, so it looks like we just crossed the 30-mile mark on this MokWheel Slate, and we've still got 6 out of 9 battery bars remaining. We're still able to maintain speed, haven't really felt any drop off of power. Here's our train tracks, right up and over those. So far, I mean, this range is pretty impressive. You know, we'll see how we end up, but you know, I'm not seeing any kind of erratic behavior out of the battery bars, which is always a good sign. Some bikes, those bars are kind of bouncing around all over the place, but this has been rather consistent. Let's see. Yeah, we're hanging out between 5 and 6 battery bars remaining right now. So one thing to note is that there is a slight delay from when you start pedaling and when the motor kicks in. And so you can probably address some of that with the intensity setting in the menu system. Nice thing about a bike that has, you know, an upright riding position is that it's very comfortable. I don't have a lot of pressure on my hands. You know, sometimes with bikes you're kind of crouched over. You got a lot of weight on your hands, you get hand fatigue. With this, I just lightly have my hands on the handlebars and we're cruising along. No hand fatigue at all whatsoever. And these grips here are holding up really well. Now, for those of you keeping track, we just crossed the 35-mile mark. We've still got 4 out of 5 battery bars remaining. And we're taking a little bit of a detour right now because there's still plenty of range to be had on this bike. Now, there are a lot of good things about this bike, but if I could ask for one improvement, it would be to add another gear on this bike, get it up to 8 speeds. That would be perfect. This is a completely different canal system, it looks like. How cool is that? I'm not gonna go too far here, otherwise I'm gonna get lost. It looks like, oh, is that a trail? You know what? It's a bike. We can make our own trail. All right, it's a big development here. We've officially crossed the 40-mile mark on this MokWheel Slate. We've been riding for about 3 hours, 16 minutes at this point, which means that we've officially crossed what we were able to accomplish with the Electric XP 3.0. Now, of course, keep in mind, that particular bike, the long range edition, has a 14 amp hour 48 volt battery. This here has a 15 amp hour 48 volt battery. So slight advantage in terms of battery capacity. Another thing to point out here is that we are on our final 2 bars. There is slight voltage sag, so you know, it doesn't have the same amount of pickup as it did at the very beginning. And that's going to be the case with pretty much every electric device out there. As you wear the battery down, you've got less power. But anyways, we're still cruising. All right, so we are back on the road again with this MokWheel Slate. We're in pedal assist level 3, maintaining about 17, 18 miles an hour right now. Although power output has decreased, it's still got enough power to comfortably keep me around 17, 18 miles an hour. Another thing to mention is that that last battery bar is now solid. It's not dancing around between 2 bars and 1 bar. It's solidly 1 bar. And we are approaching the 44-mile mark. The last battery bar is now flashing. And the moment it started flashing, I felt an immediate reduction in power output. So right now, instead of cruising around at 17, 18 miles an hour, it's more like 16, 17 miles an hour. And for those of you keeping track, we just crossed the 45-mile mark, which means we've now eclipsed both the Electric XP 3.0 as well as the Engway Engine Pro 2.0. Next one in line is the Engway L20 2.0. I'm not sure we're going to make it that far. But either way, 45 miles, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of biking. We've been cruising around out here for 3 hours, 39 minutes, going on 4 hours at this point. Oh, we'll use our throttle a little bit to get us moving. And I'm going to go ahead and transition over to the sidewalk. All right, folks, so there you have it. That was our range test with the MokWheel Slate, and I think we got a new record here. So for today's ride, we did get 49.59 miles until that battery completely drained. We had an average moving speed of 14.5 miles an hour. We hit a top speed of 21.4 miles an hour. We had an elevation gain of 955 feet, and we were cruising around here for 4 hours and 2 minutes today. So this bike has eclipsed the Electric XP 3.0, the Engway Engine Pro 2.0, as well as the Engway L20 2.0. Now keep in mind, it's not exactly apples to apples because all those bikes have different battery capacities, anywhere from 13 to 16 amp hours. But either way, this was a fantastic test. Now, let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns. Happy to address those. And if you do want to pick up one of these bikes, I will include a link as well as any available coupon codes in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for tuning into Tom's Gadget Garage. We'll see you next time.